Hello, everybody. Welcome to another Kansas Missing and Unsolved podcast. I'm your host, Ricky Chabruggi, and joining me down there in Elkhart is Hope Chance. How you doing, Hope? How you doing, Derek? I know you're back there somewhere.
I'm here, buddy.
Oh. Hopefully tonight will be better. We don't have any bad weather going on out there or anything going on until about 3 o'clock in the morning. So hopefully I'll be around the whole show tonight. That was crazy. Just crazy.
Yeah, you said like 2 words and then it was just over. You locked up, so we had to.
Yeah.
Me and Hope had to jump in there we had a really good show. Was that last week?
Yeah, that was last week.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, and that was weird because my electricity kind of glitched and just enough to knock my modem offline. So I was trying to hurry up and I hit the reset button, set it down, and then the power goes out. I'm like, crap.
Wow.
Here we go.
Wow stuff. So what's been going on in your week, buddy?
Same old, same old. I mean, and like I don't know if everybody saw my post or not, but my rear passenger van window got broke out by somebody. My neighbors got broke out, and so trying to get that figured out and replaced. And just all kinds of fun. Was
anything stolen from you, or were they just like breaking stuff to break stuff? Or
I think they were just breaking it to break because I looked and it didn't look like anything was missing. So yeah, just somebody being stupid. My younger daughter, when I told her about it, she was like, "Do you think it's somebody made mad with Kansas Missing and Unsolved?" And I was like, So honestly, that thought crossed my mind, but I doubt it.
Yeah. I think people got better stuff to do than to chase down, Ricky Chabruggi. But
Yep.
But yeah, it just happens, man. If nothing was stolen, it sounds like it was just a bunch of kids trying to make each other laugh, which is really neat that's where they're at right now in life. Yeah. Well, yeah, we had a show last week. Hopefully we can get through a whole night without either of us. I saw some clouds. I just went to the store.
I'm telling you, I hope.
But we here at Back Home Media, we do have a generator. So like we should be, I don't know if that affects the internet, maybe unless the internet, the whole internet in the town goes down, but I think that electricity wise, we should be good.
Yeah.
In case, inclement weather for podcasting. We can at least record podcasts. I believe we'll have electricity throughout the whole house.
Right. Now, that was really weird because when I went outside that night, it was like to the east of me, lights. North and west of me, dark.
Yeah.
I was like, man, this is just crazy.
Yeah. Well, I want to switch things up a little bit tonight, man. I want to, since we have like 19 people here, I want to ask everybody watching to share the show. This is Ricky Chabruggi, the host and the creator of Kansas Missing Unsolved. Co-host Hope Chance. She's the host of 7 Day Circle podcast on Apple and Spotify. It's a great show. Ricky, I'm going to have you pray first, and then pray for people to see these flyers and get them shared, and for something good to come out of tonight's show. And then we'll go ahead and start doing the show, man.
Okay, that's different. Yeah, Heavenly Father, thank you for being with us tonight, and I pray that everybody out there shares the show and shares the flyers, and let's get these people brought home safely. I know there's still some out there they're searching for, and hopefully they can get them found and brought home. And we pray these things in your name, Heavenly Father. Amen.
Amen.
Yeah. Dana Jane
Baby Blue Eyes is here. Rodney Cox. Love Rodney Cox.
Yeah. I believe Baby Blue Eyes is Donda, I believe. And I didn't get all the flyers pulled. I needed to pull tonight like a dinghy. Been a day. Okay, Dana Jane Bruce, missing from Sedalia, Missouri since October 4th, 2008. She was 23 when she was missing. She's now 39. She is 5'2", weighs 98 pounds, has brown hair, green or hazel eyes. She was last seen at her children's babysitter's home in Sedalia. She left the children there earlier that day so she could go out for the evening. She returned at midnight and gave the babysitter more money and asked her to watch the children for the rest of the night. Dana was seen at Malone's Bar on Main Street with a young man driving a late model red Ford F-150 truck earlier on the night of her disappearance. She left with that man at 11:30 p.m. Police have identified the man Dana was with on the night she vanished. He traveled to Atlanta, Georgia after her disappearance, and police questioned him about Dana after he was arrested there on unrelated charges of marijuana possession and driving on a suspended license. Authorities have not named him publicly, but they are calling him a person of interest in her case. He told his questioners that he and Dana parted ways after they left the bar, and he never saw her after that. She left all of her belongings behind, including her hairbrush and toothbrush, and she doesn't have any credit cards, debit cards, checking account, cell phone, or a car. And at the time of her disappearance, she was 23. She'd now be 39. She is 5'2", weighs 98 pounds. She has brown hair that was colored brown at the roots, black at the ends with red highlights, and green or hazel eyes. Dana was last known to be wearing a black shirt with the word Rebel and silver lettering on the front and blue jeans. Dana has a tattoo of a teddy bear with wings and the name Dylan on her upper left arm. She is blind in her left eye. She does have a 2-inch scar along her lower spine and a staple scar on her right shoulder. Her ears are pierced 1 time each. If you have any information regarding Dana's disappearance or you know her whereabouts, please call the Sedalia, Missouri Police Department at 660-827-7823 or 660-826-8100 or Missouri State Highway Patrol at 573-526-6178 or their toll-free number 866-362-6422 and see if we can't help get Dana found and brought home where she needs to be.
So I was confused because last week we were talking about at one point I had thought you had told me that the guy that was mentioned in the flyer had been cleared, but last week who is our friend that knows Dana?
Ellen
was saying that he has not been cleared actually. So so
okay.
like that's to me, like, again, I just read. All I know is the same information you just read, but to me, like, that's where you look. Like, the last person you're alive, like, to me, like, that's where I would look.
Yeah, everything I've read was that he'd been cleared, so I don't know.
Yeah, well, because it always made me, because, like, honestly, because the reason I brought it up last week, because I was like, I've heard that he's been cleared, and I was like, and if I was him, and I, in fact, had been cleared of any wrongdoing, and I found out 2 people were reading this flyer over and over again, I would be upset. I was like, so to me, I kind of want to find out if he's been cleared or not, because if he has been cleared, if it wasn't him, I don't want to continuously, have the world look at him. But then that's when Ellen was like, he hasn't been cleared. So to me, like, it just makes me wonder what the situation is, like, what the holdup is. Why can't you go, like, follow that guy around? You know what I mean? Like, there's, yeah, I don't know. So it's wild, but that's
wow. Donda says she needs some good luck. We were on her way back from Salina yesterday, and the vehicle caught fire south of Concordia. Holy moly! Hope everybody was okay.
Yeah. That's terrible.
Yeah, it is. Man, that's crazy. Fortunately, I've never had anything like that happen to me. Knock on wood.
Right.
Right.
I mean, I know there's always a first time for everything, but oof, that's scary. All right, Alexander Perez, missing from Ulysses, Kansas since December 1st, 2020. Was 35 when he went missing. He's now 38. He's 5'11", weighs 235 pounds, has black hair that he shaves nearly bald, and brown eyes. He called a family member on the phone on December 1st and said he'd be coming over to do some laundry. He never arrived at the family member's home in Ulysses, and he's not been heard from or seen by family or friends since then. Alexander had been staying with family and friends prior to his disappearance. It's believed that he may still be in the local Ulysses area, or he may be in the Garden City area or surrounding areas. Again, at the time of his disappearance, he was 35. He's now 38. He's 5'11", weighs 235 pounds, has black hair that he shaves nearly bald, and brown eyes. Has a tattoo of a bumblebee on his face underneath his left eye. He has Perez tattooed on one of his arms. He has the tattoo of a cross on a chain across his chest. If you have any information regarding Alexander's disappearance, you know his whereabouts, please call the Grant County, Kansas Sheriff's Office at 620-356-3500 or the Ulysses, Kansas Police Department at 620-356-4600 or the KBI at 785-296-4017. And as we know, there has been an arrest in this case, and that suspect was charged, I believe, with second-degree murder, I believe it was. And so now we just got to help get him found and brought home. So let's see if we can't help do that.
So this comment here from Martika, she says, "I believe Alexander was found deceased." There's a little bit of truth to that. Like, so there's, as if you notice, the flyer says missing. Like nobody from like the brass has come out and said Alexander Perez is no longer living. But the fact that they also have somebody going to trial this month for, I believe, a homicide charge, and to me, it's like they're basically saying that to me. And again, I'm not the police, but to me, that's police saying without saying Alexander's no longer with us.
Hmm.
Like, I don't know if I go missing and you never find me, but you find out somebody's getting charged with my murder, even though they haven't found my body. I mean, I would, if I was Alexander's family, to me, I would read that as like, okay, that's the police in a roundabout way saying they don't think Alexander's still alive. Because why would you have somebody up on homicide charges if you didn't know somebody was dead? You know what I mean?
Yep, I do. So where is it coming from that he was found deceased? I mean, I haven't seen or read anything about that.
I haven't heard that either. Whenever the initial arrest happened, like about a week before the arrest happened, a small publication out of Garden City, Kansas, reported 2 bodies found out at that residence where the guy was arrested, and that was not true. They did. You remember they did have the excavators out there. They were looking for Alexander Perez, but I have not heard from anybody that's credible that there has ever been any remains found
Right.
whatsoever.
Right. Huh. Oh, Marchica, where did you by chance see that at? I'm just out of curiosity.
And if you're watching on the Kansas Missing and Unsolved page, any page you're watching on, if you have like a screenshot of that being said, just send it to us, and we would love to know, who's saying that. That's really
Right.
interesting.
Yeah.
And she was saying thank you for the clarification, is what she just said. So I don't know. I mean, it's hard to say.
There's no telling that's an old case, Martika, and whenever the arrest happened a year ago, I think I was surprised. Ricky was probably surprised. Like, you read somebody's flyer week in, week out for longer than 2.5, 3 years.
Yeah.
You don't say it out loud, but you start to kind of lose hope. You're like, I don't think anything's going to happen. But then, you get a call from your source that said they just arrested somebody. So she just says just rumors from around town. Okay, good to know. Good to know. It's good to know that people are talking about that.
Yeah.
Hey, Esther.
Right.
Esther.
Our old buddy Kenny here. Kenneth Rychek, missing from Salina, Kansas since November 4th, 2019. So we're coming up on 5 years here pretty soon. He was 69 when he went missing. He's now 74. He's 5'9", 175 pounds, has gray hair and blue eyes. He does sometimes use the last name Brown as opposed to his given name. He does suffer from diminished mental health capabilities, and he is on disability. He has not tried to access any of his money since he was last seen. He may have family in Northwest Kansas, possibly around the Colby area. He was last seen at the Gospel Mission here in Salina. He left there and has not been seen or heard from since that time. He does not have a cell phone, vehicle, or any identification. He just kind of rode his bike around town and used it to pick up scrap metal for extra cash. Outside of that, I mean, at the time of his disappearance, he was 69. He's now 74, 5'9", weighs about 175 pounds, has gray hair and blue eyes. If you have any information regarding Kenny's disappearance or you know his whereabouts, please call the Salina, Kansas Police Department at 785-826-7210 or Crime Stoppers at 785-825-8477, or you can text SA Tips to Crimes, which is 274-637, or visit www.pd.salina.org and follow the Crime Stoppers link to submit a tip, or you can call the KBI at 785-296-4017. And let's see if we can help get Kenny located and back to where he needs to be. As I know there was, there's been a lot of people asking me over the weeks and months and years, anything new on Kenny, and, just nothing. It's been stone cold silent. I mean, just nothing. And my friend Annette saying, I wish there was more progress on Kenny's case. I feel there's the interest. There definitely is. I would like to see more comments and information out of law enforcement around here on his case. I mean, they're not, on any of the cases here in town, they really don't say much. So,
Annette, I've never talked to you before, but one thing I would say, you're far better at investigating things than me. But one thing I would ask you, that some of the things that made me think were odd in that were, I know that he had a payee that was getting paid by the state to take care of him where he was drawing from. I think it's interesting to know whether or not that money's still being sent to his payee, and whether or not that money's been set aside, or if it's being spent willy-nilly. If it's being spent willy-nilly, that doesn't prove anything, but to me that looks funny. And then also, I think this doesn't really tell you where Kenny is, but based on what I've heard, I think from Ricky, and Ricky can correct me right now if I'm wrong, but I believe
Mhm.
like the reason Kenny was taken to the gospel mission is because his house was sitting on land that was recently purchased by somebody, so they could essentially build gentrification, I guess would be the best word for it. Basically, he was asked to leave so they could knock his house down and build something that was less of an eyesore and more beneficial to somebody. So to
Mm.
me, I think the Kenny Wright check story has multi-facets. Is his state funds still being paid to him? My wife works in that industry, so I know a little bit about, there's funds that go out for people that are like in Kenny's position. And then two, it's not, again, whoever bought the land, whoever leveled Kenny's house, whatever, that's not the reason Kenny went missing. But when you have somebody with diminished mental health capabilities and you tell them that, hey, you're moving right now to a shelter, it doesn't surprise me that nobody's seen Kenny since that day, because I'm 41, and if you told me I had to have a new house right now and it was a shelter, I don't know if I'm strong enough to handle that. So to me, those are very important aspects of what happened to Kenny Wright.
Huh. Yeah, I was corrected actually as far as where he lived on Elm Street. I was told that where they built that parking lot at, he actually lived a block to the east of that. So I was corrected on that. So I don't know. I don't know what Queenie Albini is referring to. It says look like the cops arrived at Hope's house.
Yeah, that's they're here. No, but another thing, and this has nothing to do with finding Kenny, but it's something I've kind of been talking about for like a year now. Ricky, didn't you tell me that Kenny used to have like red hair or something?
When he was younger, his hair was more reddish. Yeah.
So in this line of work, we always want the most recent photos. But I've been talking about Kenny for 4 years now. If anybody has any older photos of Kenny, I'd like to share them. And even, obviously we want the most recent photos, but I know our audience has gotten to know Kenny because of reading this flyer for every week for 4 years. So if anybody out there has any, just more information about the guy.
Right. Ned's saying, yes, good thoughts. I can make an inquiry, but my guess is that the record with it is not something we could get access to. Probably
tough, yeah.
And Queenie's saying there were red and blue flashing lights for a while. That's because I think Derek's playing with the lights.
Yeah, we have a really high budget here at Back Home Media, so
I'm telling you.
We just have both of my kids are standing here with flashlights and they're putting. No, I'm just kidding. And then I'm going to find out for next week's show. I want to cover this one again next week. Somebody, and if you're watching, some people reach out to me all the time, and I try to respond, and then I forget about it. Somebody said that Colton's dad is from Elkhart, where me and Hope are sitting right now. So if anybody has information on if that's true or who Colton's dad was, and I think Colton's dad, I don't know. Anybody knows who Colton's dad is, please reach out to Ricky or me or Hope. I'd like to talk to because if Colton has any part of him that's from Elkhart, then that's close to home, where we're sitting, small town. But go ahead, Rick.
I grew up right next door to the Barreras, so
I think that he might be related to them. So Ricky, go ahead. Yeah, let's hear about this case.
Yeah, this is Colton Ross Barrera. Been missing from Russell, Kansas since September 26th of 2008. He was 17 when he went missing. He's now 33, 5'9", 135 pounds, brown hair, brown eyes. The information I have is a friend dropped him off at an outdoor skate park. He was supposed to call his friend when he wanted to be picked up, but he never did. Authorities believe he left on his own accord, but Colton's family doesn't believe this because he wasn't having any problems that would cause him to run away. And he did leave his wallet and his ID behind. At the point when I did this flyer, information suggests that Colton may have been killed and his body hidden. His case does remain unsolved. If you have any information regarding Colton's disappearance or you know of his whereabouts, please call the Kansas City Field Office of the FBI at 816-512-8000, and that is at the request of Colton's mother because she wants the FBI to be involved in the case again. So she's encouraging everybody, call the FBI field office in Kansas City first. or call the KBI at 785-296-4017, or the Russell County, Kansas Sheriff's Department at 785-483-2151. See if we can't get Colton located and back to where he needs to be. It's been, coming up on 16 years, so it's time.
If you just Google, well, not Google, I go to DuckDuckGo for stuff like this, but if you just go to DuckDuckGo and type in Colton Ross Barrera, there's just page after page. It looks like there's some podcasts that cover it.
Mm-hmm.
There's a whole Reddit. It's not a whole subreddit, but there's a whole thing from December 2nd, 2023.
Right.
And I'm not going to read this, but all you can read on the search here, it says Colton Ross Barrera, look up this case and the corruption of Russell County. So this is one of those cases that nobody talks to the police, nobody talks to anybody that can help anybody, but a lot of people talk in these in comment sections, or especially if the places like Reddit, places where you can be anonymous. Ricky, and again, I want to pre-emphasis this whole statement with we typically on this show we only want to read what the police tell us to read, but so what Ricky's going to discuss right now is 100% just we don't know if any of it's true. But Ricky, could you kind of remind me, was this one of the kids that somebody had alleged that they were all like social media friends at one point or something? Like, what was that story you were telling me? It was years ago you told me that.
Yeah, it's been a while. I haven't heard from her in a long, long time, but it was a gal that had messaged me and told me she was doing some research as far as Facebook goes and determined that there were several missing people in the western part of the state that all had basically the same circle of friends on Facebook. And she was going to pursue that. And like I said, I haven't heard from her for a long, long, long time. So I don't know if she's still doing that or if she's found anything out or what. Like I said, I haven't heard anything in a long time. But I thought that was interesting. I can't remember if Colton was one of them or not.
I don't remember. I think he was. I don't know. But yeah, it's still just it's interesting. But yeah, if you just type in his name, there's a ton of information out there about this case. But 2000, as a long time ago, and it's one of those flyers as you read it. I know you can only put the information that you get, on there,
Right.
but it's like yeah, he got dropped off, and then it says, what does it say exactly? Because it's just really weird wording. Recent information suggests that Colby may have been killed. What does that mean? What recent information? What was said? And again, I understand the cops playing their cards close to the chest, but to me, I don't. What does that mean? Does that mean that one person went to the police station and said, "I heard he was killed," or is it there's like a large, mutiny of people saying, "Hey, that these people are cut"? Because if you look at that one Reddit post, it looks like people are trying to allege it like it's the police's fault, which I highly doubt. But whoa, I'm gonna pull that down. But Steph, can we get a screenshot of that, please? I don't want to. Yeah, don't read it. Don't read that out loud. We don't.
Well,
don't
Queenie he was saying that was from the memorial page.
So
okay.
yeah, it's on Facebook.
Okay, we're good. All right, okay. So that's public. So this is saying, and I won't read the. I don't know. It says he was murdered on September 26, 2008 by 3 individuals. The police seem to be helping cover this up.
Wow.
That was from the memorial page.
So it's from his memorial page.
Go to the Colton Memorial page. It says, "Wow."
I'll go there. Actually, I don't have. We will get it. So, how big is Russell, Kansas?
Not very big, I don't think.
I don't remember for sure, but
4,000 people. So it's like 3 Elkharts basically. That's enough people for stuff to get lost. We have several. I don't know if you've ever heard. We have a couple unsolved murders here in Elkhart. And okay, yeah. Well, I didn't know that. I think first thing is call those 3 people and ask. That's a pretty. And I'd like to see who wrote it. See if it's because it could be a situation if somebody's mad at those 3 people, and this was just a great opportunity to slander them, and
Right.
maybe have them lose their job, maybe have people, but still, again, like I was talking about And I don't know, but remember, Ricky, and we won't go into it, but on the Alexander Perez case, do you remember the Snapchat that we had? That the girl, some girl on Snapchat had basically said,
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
So I don't know for sure, but I think that was there was relation to the guy that's in jail for it. So to me, it's like stuff like that comment that we just saw. Like it could be dangerous, it could be damning, it could run through people's lives, but it also could blow a case wide open if enough people saw that, and if enough people looked into it. I think the people have a lot of power through social media. We have a lot of power, just getting information out there is very, very, very
Absolutely.
powerful.
Right.
Wow. Well, I got some screenshots of that, and we're going to look into that all week, and we'll see what we can find out by next week. But Ricky, go ahead and tell them about Rochelle down there and over there in Colorado.
Yeah, it's another one that I've been asked to share quite frequently recently. Yeah, Rochelle Hammond missing from Moscow, Colorado since August 15th of 2019. She was 30 when she went missing. She's now 35, 5'6", 120 pounds, black hair, brown eyes. She was last seen walking away from her Moscow, Colorado home. She left all her belongings behind, including her phone, her identification, medication, car, computer, tools, and pet dog. Rochelle had only been living in the area for about 3 weeks prior to her disappearance. She previously lived in the Columbus, Ohio area. She may be homeless, although police can find little evidence in her disappearance. Her mother believes she did not leave of her own accord and may have been a human trafficking victim. She does suffer from bipolar disorder and schizophrenia. She has been prescribed medication for her conditions, which she left behind. Rochelle's nose is pierced. She has numerous tattoos. The phrase "live like a lion" on her upper chest, a star behind her ear, skull on the back of her wrist, stars on the inside of her forearm, a cat with a bong on her shoulder, and other tattoos. Some are you can see down there on the pictures below there. She was last known to be wearing a black tank top, khaki shorts, black Nike shoes, and a silver circular barbell. And she does have a silver circular barbell in her nose. Sorry about that. Let's see here. If you have any information regarding Rochelle's disappearance, you know her whereabouts, please call the Alamosa County Colorado Sheriff's Office. Man, I cannot talk tonight. It's 719-589-6608. And see if we can't get Rochelle located and back to where she needs to be. Sleep deprivation, bad thing.
Yeah.
Right.
I saw some documentary and I read some stuff about sleep deprivation, and you can take like chemicals and you can see weird things, like trip or whatever. But there's no chemical stronger than just staying up for like 6 days. You'll see some wild things. Your mind will play some tricks on you. I've never done it, but like I've seen like a lot of case studies. Like sleep deprivation is an awful. I feel sorry for anybody that has insomnia.
Right.
I'm lucky. As soon as I say okay, I'm done, I just go to sleep, which is not
my
fair.
problem. My problem is I just keep burning the candle at both ends, and I got to stop.
Yeah.
A lot of people do.
Yeah.
I'm one of those.
Yeah.
If I'm tired,
Yeah.
before my head hits the pillow, I'm out.
Yeah.
My thing is, okay, one more flyer.
Oh, goes pretty much all day though. I see her around town. She's always doing stuff.
Yeah.
She's always working somewhere. Okay. This is another one. Obviously, whenever we see flyers like that, and shout out to Candy. Thank you for everything. And we're hoping that AJ can get brought home as soon. Not
Right.
well, whatever. Just get resolved, basically.
Right.
But with this Rochelle Elizabeth Hammond case, anytime we see that anybody's struggling with mental illness, we also want to reiterate. Hope the 988. You want to give them just a quick rundown of what 988 is?
Yeah, 988 is a nationwide hotline, and basically you can call it from any phone. It don't cost nothing. It's like 911, and it'll connect you to somebody that you can talk to, whether you're just having a low moment or if you're really struggling with like suicidal ideation or anything like that. You can call and talk to them, and they will set you up with somebody in your area that you can go and see or talk to, and it's just there to help. It's there for anybody that feels like they're a burden or they're all alone, and they can reach out to a complete stranger that will help them.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
as somebody who's been in some very dark places before, why not give it a shot? Call the number, just give it maybe they can say something that'll make you feel better, but it's free. And they're there for you. Here in Elkhart, where we are, there's actually a building you can go into. There's a phone in there. You can call 988.
Yeah.
But it's just like 911. You can call it from any phone.
Well, and it's really great because Martin County is not really that big.
No.
And in the 3 towns that are in Martin County, there's a building in each town that is dedicated straight to 988.
Yeah.
You walk in, you pick up a phone. You can't use the phone for anything else. It's a direct line to 988.
Wow.
Yeah. So 911, if somebody else is going through an emergency and needs help. 988, if you are the one who needs help. All right, here we go. Go ahead and tell us, Dietrich Foster. Now, Jordan did pop in on last week's show. She's
Okay.
this is another situation where Steph, if you can try to find Dietrich's page, that it should be like Justice for Dietrich Foster. I want to promote that page tonight. I believe that's another one where there's a lot of things being said in comment sections where people are failing to realize that once you post it on like some any social media platform,
Yeah.
somebody's going to screenshot it. So another situation where I don't know for sure, but again, says missing, but the governor's reward says the word murder in it. So based on things that have been said, the police are pretty confident, Dietrich. But Ricky's going to tell you all about this case. But yeah, 5,000 reasons to pay attention to this fire.
Yeah, this is Dietrich Foster, missing from Independence, Kansas since April 12, 2020. He's 37 when he was missing. He's now 41. 5'9", 190 pounds, black hair, brown eyes. He was reported missing on May 12th of 2020. His last seen around April 12th of 2020 in Independence. KBI agents and detectives from the Independence Police Department are conducting the case as a homicide based upon findings during the investigation into Dietrich's disappearance. Again, at the time of his disappearance, Dietrich was 37. He's now 41. He's 5'9", weighs 190 pounds, has black hair and brown eyes, has a scar on his chest from heart surgery and a scar on the right side of his nose. Has the following tattoos: a cross on his right forearm, the astrological sign for Gemini on his right arm, 3 dice on his arm, the name Desjardins on his arm, and the word foo on his abdomen. If you have any information regarding Dietrich's disappearance or you know of his whereabouts, please call the Independence, Kansas Police Department at 620-332-1700 or the KBI at 785-296-4017. And there is a governor's reward of $5,000 for information leading to the arrest and conviction of those responsible for the disappearance and suspected murder of Dietrich Foster. So let's do what we can to get Dietrich found, brought home to his family so they can have some closure and, grieve properly if it is the case that he's been murdered. So let's do what we can do.
And there's a lot of reasons why somebody would know some terrible information and not go tell everybody in the world. There's a lot of reasons, but one of them is fear of retaliation. So we read these numbers every week, and we encourage you, and we hope that you would feel confident enough to call those numbers and report stuff that you know. But if that's too scary for you, just simply look for whatever town or city the case is based out of, and just Google their Crime Stoppers number. Call anonymously. Sometimes you can even still get paid if you turn in a tip that leads to something, and you can be completely anonymous. Like there is a way to tell the authorities what you know without just making a sign and standing on Main Street saying, "Hey, I know who some bad people are," because that's probably not the smartest thing in the world to do. But Crime Stoppers is a nationwide thing. My only gripe with Crime Stoppers is they have about 6 billion phone numbers because it pretty much looks like it's based on county.
Yeah.
But even then, not hard to just Google Independence, Kansas and see what. And even if you call the wrong Crime Stoppers, they'll probably get you where you need to be. But call Crime Stoppers if you want to, basically tell law enforcement what you know about a really scary situation without ever having to show your face, basically.
Right. I should try to add the Independence, Kansas Crime Stoppers to the flyer. That's what I should do.
Yeah, write that down. Let's do that. Like any of them that have rewards, we should update the flyers to have, because like if because we've read this that $5,000 reward's been on there for at least a year now.
Yeah.
So that wasn't enough to get people to call the police. Maybe if they had like hey, call this number and disguise your voice, whatever. They don't
Right.
care. They know you're not going to show them your face, but they are willing to go off of your tip and see if they can do some police work and find out what's going on. If there's any validity to what you're saying.
Right.
And you don't have to go to the police. You don't have to go tell them who you are and everything. And then producer Stephanie backstage, anyone can call 988 for yourself or someone else. They are also working to be more accessible to people with disabilities. So again, 988. If you ever feel down and out, just give them a call. And then follow the Facebook page is going to be Dietrich Foster, Missing and Unsolved Homicide. It's right there on Facebook. Stephanie has that right there on the page. Go follow that. And like I said, all of those pages that are out there, they have I don't have Steph, can you pull that banner down, because I don't have access to that one since you there we go. But yeah, all of those are gonna all these flyers are gonna be on Ricky's Kansas Missing and Unsolved Facebook page if you're watching on another channel.
Yeah, they're all there. Believe me, they're all there. I make sure that. And I'll tell you, the last couple of days I have just been busy. I was telling Derek and Hope in our little group chat, or group messenger thing that we have, that between last night and today, I think I've updated like 13 or 14 to located safes. So a lot of located safes the last couple of days.
That's great. That's good news.
Yeah, I've just been happy to see that. It's just been crazy, but it's good to see it.
Right.
And this is the unsolved homicide of Nellie Mae Hubbard. Her murder's still unsolved after all these years. It happened on March 14th, 1981. Nellie was found deceased in a residence at 1008 East Elm Street here in Salina on the cot she slept on in her living room. She was covered with a sheet, and the scarf she usually wore was found on the floor. Nellie put up a struggle during her attack. Ultimately, Nellie Hubbard died of asphyxiation. She also suffered 8 broken ribs. One was broken in 2 places. She also had a broken bone in her throat. She also had an injury on the back of her skull. She also had bruises on her arms, and there was evidence of other internal injuries. When searching her home, investigators found about $93,000 in cash and over $100,000 in CDs or certificates of deposits, and a large quantity of silver coins dating back to 1886. Investigators also discovered that Nellie's home was filled with miscellaneous household items, trash, and other clutter that made 2 bedrooms completely unusable. Nellie Mae Hubbard deserves to be able to rest in peace, so let's do what we can to help bring her killer to justice. If you have any information, call the Salina Police Department at 785-826-7210 or Crime Stoppers at 785-825-8477, or you can text SA Tips to Crimes, which is 274-637, or go to www.pd.salina.org and follow the Crime Stoppers link to submit a tip, or call the KBI at 1-800-572-7463 and see if we can get some justice for Nellie. And the lighter up there, I meant to mention that. So far, that my understanding is that's the only piece of physical evidence that they found at the crime scene that they linked to the murder. It was found under Nellie when they rolled her over. It was on the cot, and she doesn't smoke or anything, so there'd be no reason for her to have a lighter like that. And if you look closely at the pictures of the lighter, you can see there's still fingerprint dust on it from back in the day.
So like me and Hope were talking last week, like I like extrapolated 193, and so it's a lot of money. This woman had a lot of money laying around. When it says upon searching, you might not know, Ricky, do you know if like was this like money and coins, was that out in the open, or was it like hidden in the walls? Like what my question is why didn't whoever killed her take at least a handful of this fortune?
My understanding has been that it was hidden in various locations around the house. It wasn't all in one spot. It was hidden. So that's probably why my guess is they probably heard rumor that she may have had money and went in to go get it, and maybe she surprised them. I don't know. They probably thought maybe she wasn't home, and much to their surprise, she was. I have no idea. But yeah, the information I had heard over the years was that it was not all in one place. It was in various places throughout the house.
Okay.
So,
It just seems like a lot of money to just leave laying there. Like if you did something that crazy, it's just wild to leave all that
yeah,
money there.
yeah, that is crazy.
So that's not it, is it?
And I lived a couple blocks away from there at the time that happened. I was only living like 2-3 blocks away.
So essentially, just the the value on the flyer in 1981, if it would have been in today, if it was today, and she had the same amount of money, it's around 193,081 in today's terms. That's $667,000. So to me, I guess it's just like if I had $667,000 in my house, and somebody came and killed me and left with none of it, my ghost would be mad at him. I would be like, bro, you might as well have taken my riches. You killed me. It's just to me, and I think it's a very big detail because what would be the motive to hurt a rich old woman other than robbing her? You know what I mean? I don't get it. I don't. To me, it screams like it had to be somebody she knew very well that was just angry. To just, and if they knew her very well, they had to know the money was there. So like, how mad were they at this lady?
Yeah, Chris is asking, did the police ever look into BTK as possibly being responsible? I don't know if they ever did or not. I mean, I don't know. I mean, my understanding was the reporter did some research and found that BTK was actually enrolled in Kansas Wesleyan in the late 60s, so he apparently had been up here and knew the area possibly.
Wow.
I know I did see one newspaper story regarding her case that they thought maybe Ottis Toole might have been responsible for it because him and Henry Lee Lucas, they were kind of a pair of serial killers that traveled together. And I guess he was apparently in this area around, Ottis Toole was around in this area around that time. But I guess they rolled that out. But at one point they thought maybe he might have been involved. So I don't know.
But I mean, it just says broken bone in her throat, an injury to the back of the skull, bruises on her arms. That's not really BTK's MO, is it? Like he was like there would have been finding, torturing, and killing, right? Like to me, this seems like this happened very quickly. To me, BTK seemed like the kind of guy that would close the blinds and have fun with it for a while. You know what I mean? Like nothing. Right. It doesn't seem like BTK did anything that was real quick and not well thought out. You know what I mean?
I think that was his intent, but some of his crimes,
things did go wrong sometimes, but this to me, this just based on the injuries that they're saying she had, it doesn't seem like BTK to me.
Right. No, there was like some of his cases where like there was somebody who was there that shouldn't have been, and just things turned into cluster bombs, and he had to handle things differently than what he had initially planned on. So he was more or less considered an unorganized serial killer because things went awry just about every case. So his last couple, I think, were probably he was more in control of and stuff, but his earlier cases, no.
Well, how he got caught by sending them a floppy disk and what an idiot.
His own ego got him.
Yeah, what an idiot.
Absolutely.
Here we go. Anthony Patrick Singali.
Yeah. That one I would really like to get better quality pictures for his flyer because those have bothered me ever since I did it. And I have spoken to his wife in the past, and she was going to try to get those for me, but she told me that every time I've talked to her, she's told me that it's still really hard for her to talk about it. So I haven't been able to get them yet. So I just have to go with what I've got. But this is another Salina, Kansas case. Missing since August 17th, 1987. He was 36 when he went missing, and now he's 73. He's 5'9", 160 pounds, black hair, brown eyes. He was last seen by his family at Jerry Ivy Park in Salina on August 17th, 1987. His wife saw him driving east on his way home from work at Beach Aircraft Corp in Salina. She followed him to the park. He stopped near the restrooms and spoke to her. He was surprised to see her and told her he was not feeling well. She tried to convince him to let her drive him home, but he refused. So she left to go get help from her brother. When they returned, he was gone. The car was still there, parked by the restrooms, locked with his belongings inside. My understanding is his lunch was even still inside of it, his lunchbox.
Wow.
He didn't show up for work the next day and has never been heard from again. His social security number, credit card, and bank accounts have not been used, and he has not contacted any of his family. He was devoted to his 2 children, and it's uncharacteristic of him to leave without warning. He's originally from New York, where his parents, who were Italian immigrants, lived. He'd been living in Salina for about 9 years prior to his disappearance. Anthony's family fears that he may have become homeless. They distributed missing persons flyers in New York and in Florida, where his sister lived, but he was never found, and his case does remain unsolved. And if you have any information regarding Anthony's disappearance or you know his whereabouts, and I got to add all the Crime Stopper stuff to this too, but call the Salina, Kansas Police Department at 785-826-7210 or the KBI at 785-296-4017 and see if we can help get Anthony located and back to his family. It's been a very, very long time. And I think about his case frequently when I drive by Jerry Ivy and, I see the restrooms and, I think of his case instantly as soon as I see those. So, wondering where he could have went,
Right.
from there and just disappeared without a trace, Just no idea. And footnote is Beechcraft here in town is no more. It's what is the name of it now? One Vision, I believe is what it's called now. They work on aircraft and things like that. It's sat vacant for a long, long, long time. In recent years, it opened up as One Vision, where they're, like I said, they're working on aircraft and stuff like that. They always have a bunch of them sitting outside the hangar.
To me, it sounds like she found him at that rest area, and he was surprised to see her, and he was kind of, I don't know what's going on, but it seems like he was scared or maybe running from somebody, and just knowing it could have been an actual thing or person he was running from, or if he was having any kind of psychosis, he could have been running from something imaginary. But it sounds like he was freaked out and trying to, like, I would be surprised too if I was just at like a rest area somewhere and my wife showed up. Like, what are you doing? It's like, it's a weird place to bump into each other,
Yeah, restrooms next to a park. Yeah,
it's a weird place, and Salina is a pretty big town, so it's a weird place to bump into your significant other. So to me, it seems like he was maybe hiding, and even then, I'm kind of curious how did she know to bump into him there? What were they both doing at some rest area? You know what I mean? That's a little funky. It's weird. I mean, if one of them went to that rest area that day because they had to go to the bathroom and that's where they were, that makes sense. But both of them on the same day just happened to bump in. It's weird.
Yeah, it's actually not a rest area. It's actually a local park, is what it is.
Yeah.
Local park. Yeah, but even then, though, it's like a bathroom at a local park in Salina. Which one? Like, if your daughter told you, "Hey, Dad, meet me at the bathroom at the park in Salina," you would have to say which one because there's more than so. Like, it's just weird they met at the same one and they didn't make plans. Thanks, Chris. Luckily, we all got out before it really started flaming. Hardest part was getting my 18-month-old grandson.
Wow.
Oh Lord.
Ricky, is there going to do the picture of the guy that's missing from Barber County the picture that I sent you?
I'm trying to remember who that was. Hopefully, I mean, I'm trying to think of who that was that you sent me. Was that David Reese that you sent me?
I would resend it again if I were you. Sounds like Ricky's
because if it's David Reese, I did a flyer for him. Yes.
Do they have to tell you guys when the kid has been found? They usually tell Ricky, but also usually so like this is a great time to do this. Hope, how many? Let's refresh just to make sure. As of right now, there are
227 juveniles missing in Kansas and 422 adults.
And how many flyers did you upload tonight, Ricky?
Well, the located safe since yesterday is 13.
And how many flyers did you upload for us to cover
tonight? I've probably made 5 or 6 new ones since in the midst of all those. Yeah.
Okay. So
I'm looking over here. Yeah, a
point
lot of
is,
times family will tell me when they're found. If I'm doing the flyers for other parties, they'll let me know when they're found.
so like the point is Ricky does a tremendous job. He makes flyers all day for these people, but he's barely scratched. There's way more missing people than there are flyers being made.
Right.
And so that means usually the flyers that are made, or somebody will either it'll be a detective or a family member will reach out to Ricky and he'll make
Mm,
the flyer. So typically, whenever a kiddo or somebody is found, the person that is what we call our contact will let the show know that they've been found. And then
yeah,
Ricky will make a located safe flyer to share on the page, just so
right,
everybody knows that it's been taken care of. Uh,
right.
yeah, this is Hope. She's from 7 Day Circle, based
Hi,
out here in
Danny.
Elkhart, and she's been helping us out for like 3 or 4 weeks here. Yeah,
Yeah,
David Reese.
yeah, David Reese. I did do a flyer for him, yes. It's got shifted down the page a little bit because of all the locators and things like that. But yeah, I did do one for him. And we'll be covering him tonight. I do have him lined up to cover tonight.
Shay
So
says, I was told that one of the kids missing from July 23rd has been found and she's with her mom. So
mm,
if we still have a flyer, if you can give us the name, we can. Uh, well, have they contacted you? So which name though? Which name? You'd have to give us
yeah.
the name. There's a lot of people missing. Ricky makes a
And
lot of
yeah.
flyers, and again, so how that and then that's it's a good thing you brought that up, Shay. So if you were okay, Alexis. So if you tell us that Alexis has been found, we're gonna say amazing, and we're all gonna say it. We're all gonna jump up and down. But the way Ricky operates is if he still has a flyer up for Alexis, he will not take that flyer down until he has concrete proof, usually from police, that Alexis is safe.
I'll have to
Because
see where she's missing out of.
you could have people contact us and say they're found, and they're not found. They're just trying to get us to take a flyer down. So you
Right.
got to be careful.
And I've had that happen. So yes. They're just trying to
Uh,
get the heat off. So they're either that or they'll message me and say, take it down, I'm not missing, blah, blah, blah. You know. My
Yeah.
daughter's sister from another mother.
Hmm.
Okay. I'll have to see where she's missing out of and do some checking on that.
Haley Davis, Salina, Kansas, and then her brother. There's also Steph. If you could look up, there should be a Haley Davis Facebook page as well. Ricky's going to tell you about Haley Davis. Her
Hmm.
brother watches the show, and pretty sad situation here.
Wichita. Okay. I'll have to get a hold of my. So I can get. I'll have to make some. Reach out to my contacts in Wichita and see if they can tell me. But yeah. All right. Yeah. Haley Davis missing from here in town, here in Salina, Kansas, since July 21st, 2023. She was 19 when she was missing. She's now 20. She's 5'6" to 5'7", weighs between 190 to 200 pounds. Her hair was last known to be dyed blonde, and she has blue eyes. She lives in Salina, Kansas, with a male acquaintance to go to Wichita. She was last active on her social media and last heard from on July 21st. At the time of her disappearance, she was 19. She's now 20. She's 5'6" to 5'7", weighs between 190 and 200 pounds. Her hair was last known to be dyed bleach blonde. She has blue eyes. And I wish I knew whether she had any kind of tattoos or scars or anything. That would be helpful. But if you have any information regarding Haley's disappearance, you know her whereabouts, please call the Salina, Kansas Police Department at 785-826-7210, or call Crime Stoppers at 785-825-8477, or text SA TIPS to crimes, which is 274637. Or you can go to www.pd.salina.org and follow the Crime Stoppers link to submit a tip. Or Wichita, Kansas Police Department at 316-268-4181, or 316-268-4407, or 316-263-6011, or the KBI at 785-296-4017. And the reason I added the Wichita phone numbers to that flyer is because my understanding is Wichita Police is also investigating her case. So I want to have that contact information on there as well. So gives people plenty of outlets to get that information in there if they have any at all that they know. No matter how minute or how small it is, please get it in.
Yes, absolutely.
Of course, there's always a rumor mill going on, and I don't like to deal in the rumor mills. I like to deal in fact, but any of the rumors I've heard have any credibility to them, not going to be a good outcome. But hopefully she's safe and okay and just land low somewhere and stuff like that. But we'll just have to wait and see.
Stephanie wasn't able to find the Facebook page for Haley. I think there's one that exists. So if anybody knows about it, link it to the comment section so people will find it. And then we're going to cover this case again next week. So I will try, Steph or Hope, write down that we need to find that Facebook group for next week.
And you're very welcome, Shay.
Here we go. Michael Mills. Here we got Candy saying the prelims for Alexander's case is tomorrow at 9 a.m. That's crazy. I'm going to Garden anyway. I knew it was sometime. That's crazy. 9 a.m. tomorrow in Garden City Police Station, the courthouse. It's for Oscar Corrales' trial. He has several charges besides the murder of AJ.
Right.
So that's I had got that from Candy here. I guess it's like 3 days worth of trials that this Oscar guy has to go through.
Yeah. So he's got multiple charges.
Multiple charges, yeah. I think some of them are drug. I think some of them are like violent crimes. And then mixed in the midst of all of it is they're talking about AJ and they're using the word murder. So that's not good. So yeah, I will try to be there for that. Just gotta make sure I can make that happen. But I don't know if I probably won't go for all 3 days, but I'll try to at least go so I can get a report of what's going on.
If you can get your Kia out of park.
I'm telling you, dude, I'm kind of scared. It's happened twice.
Right.
Since I got home, man.
Wow.
Not good. It's a 2024 Kia. It's not good. Michael Mills, Hutchinson, Kansas. Looks like this is a bit of an older case. So what's going on here?
He's been missing since June 5th of 2018. He was 36 when he went missing. He's now 42. He's 6'3", 240 pounds, brown hair and blue eyes. Don't have much more information than that, but if you do have any information regarding Michael's disappearance or you know his whereabouts, please call the Hutchinson, Kansas Police Department at 620-694-2800 or 620-694-2816 or the KBI at 785-296-4017 and see if we can help get Michael located and back to where he needs to be. Where's my pen? My pen disappeared. Oh well.
Hope's got it.
I got it. No.
Okay. I was going to write down that Alexis on July 23rd, but my pen has grew feet and left. So.
Cindy Trotnick, I have not seen you all in like forever.
Well, I've been in and out because, like last week, we tried to do the show. My power goes out because of a storm. Couldn't do the show. So Derek and Hope had to do it for me. So it's been fun.
We're doing what we got to do. We're doing our best. Here we go. Samuel, is it Mandros?
Mandros. Yeah. Done repeated flyers for this kid, but I'm going to keep doing them until he decides to stay put. So I'm listening from Topeka, Kansas since July 24th, 2024. He's 16, 5'9", 150 pounds, blonde hair and blue eyes. Don't have much more than that, but if you have any information regarding Samuel's disappearance, you know his whereabouts, please call the Topeka, Kansas Police Department at 785-368-9200 or KBI at 785-296-4017. See if we can get Samuel located and back to where he needs to be again.
And you said you've made repeated flyers for this guy?
Yeah, I think like 3. Yeah.
Okay. Well, so the endangered and missing runaway thing, Hope's got a number for anybody out there watching the show that might want to go home.
Yes. The number is 1-800-RUNAWAY, and it's 1-800-786-2929. And you can call it anytime if you're ready to go home or you need help going home. They can mediate between you and your parents. Don't be afraid. Just because you made a choice and you think your parents are going to be mad, they're going to be more happy that you're home than mad that you were gone. It doesn't excuse a bad decision, but just remember, people do love you out there. And, if you're ready to go home and you don't want to face certain consequences that you think you might have, call 1-800-RUNAWAY. They can get you home and they can help, the tension between you and your parents it's a good place to start.
Yeah. And if people who are repeatedly running away, if you're in a, if it's your natural parents, but sometimes if you're in a foster situation, if you're running because there's some type of abuse you're running from, we don't want you to go back either.
Absolutely.
But being out on your own in the streets is not the way to battle that situation. You can call 1-800-RUNAWAY, but if you're afraid to call the police, like call a teacher you trust, a family friend you trust, a friend's parent you trust. Let somebody know that there's abuse going on and start the chain reaction of getting yourself out of that situation the proper way. Being missing, being a runaway, the cops are just going to find you and take you back to a predator if that's what's going on. So
Exactly.
obviously, call the right people. Let somebody know if anybody's harming you.
All right.
Thank you for hanging out with us, Cindy. We really appreciate you coming back.
Yeah.
Ellen is here, and she says she is late, but it's fine, Ellen. You made it. You made it.
Absolutely.
We still got several. We got 6 more flyers to go, maybe more. Dawnette Flick Woodward, tell us about her.
This one, actually, her daughter reached out to me and asked me to help get the word out there that they're still trying to get justice for her mom's murder. Dawnette R. Flick Woodward, she was 23, was found dead Thursday morning, June 6, 1991, by one of her 5-year-old twin daughters. And it was the 5-year-old twin daughter that found her that I spoke to. Burglary did not appear to be the motive. The cause of death appeared to be a gunshot wound to the head. It has been reported by the child that discovered her mother that Dawnette was still alive when she found her and that Dawnette held her as she died. Family believes that there are 2 persons of interest in Dawnette's murder. One has since died. One of the children said that their father was at the house the night before Dawnette's murder, but police later learned that he was incarcerated at the Norton Correctional Facility in Norton, Kansas at that time. Family is still seeking justice after 33 years. Family tells me that they were close. It was close to being solved in 2019, but the detective that was working the case back then retired, and they're trying to get the new detective to do some DNA testing and things of that nature and try to get this thing solved. But if anybody has any information regarding Dawnette's murder, please call the Kansas City, Kansas Police Department at 913-573-6020 or 913-596-3000, or you can call their tips line anonymously at 816-474-8477 or the KBI at 1-800-572-7463 and see if we can't help get some justice for Dawnette and her daughters and her other kids. She had other kids besides the twins. So
well, whoever your source is on that case, send them my way because I love that our society lives by rules, and I love that you don't have detectives going on podcasts and saying what they know. But one rule that's really beneficial is once a detective retires, they are allowed to talk about cases that they worked on. So if they can get me in contact with the original detective that did all the work, it would not be illegal for that detective to sit down and have an interview with me and let me know everything that he knows because that's legal. We can do it that way. That would be so. If you have a source on this one, Ricky, send them my way. I'd love to talk to that detective.
Yeah, she did give me more information, but I don't know how much of it the police would want released. So I'm sitting on it until I know for sure. But
well, because your channel's ethical. Over here on the Derek Rutherford show, we've never heard of the word. So we have 2. No, I'm just kidding. No, I'd love to talk to that detective. I bet we could learn a great deal from the detective who worked on that case for that long. Tell us about Jaylen.
Right. Like I was, let's see, what was I saying? But yeah, like I was saying, she did give me a lot more, but I don't know what the police want out there and what they don't. So I'm going to sit on it until I know for sure.
Yeah.
And once I know for sure, then I can put some of it out there. But it's just a really tragic case. I mean, I really feel for this. She's an adult now, but I feel for this woman to be the one to go in and find her mom like that, and her mom grasp onto her and hold on to her until she dies. I mean, 5 years old. I mean, that's just traumatic as heck for a 5-year-old. I couldn't imagine.
So like normally, like 100% I agree with you. Like, you have to sit on things, but my thing is this: I don't have a loved one that was murdered. I don't know what that feels like. But as like a citizen, I feel like the most important and the most demoralizing part of the flyer is that it's been 33 years. I feel
Mhm.
like once your loved one's cold case hits like a 30-year mark, I feel like it's Hail Mary time. Like, throw everything out there until you get some kind of answer, some kind of justice. Again, if you're 3 to 5 years outside of the homicide, you don't want to say anything. But, like, 33 years,
Yeah.
just mathematically, a lot of people that know things that could solve this thing are dying every day because they were older
Right.
when they knew it. So it just mathematically at this point, in Derek Relaford's eyes, it's Hail Mary time. Do
Mm,
anything you can to get the
mhm.
answers you need, because I Suzanne Johnson's going on 55, 56 years of unsolved. Her
Right.
mom just died 2 years ago. Her dad died 10 years ago. Her brother died 10. Her entire family left this planet without knowing what happened to her.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I hate to see any family hit the 50-year mark and
Right.
still have detectives saying, like, well, we don't want to say too much. Why? So we don't ruin the 50-year-old investigate. Like, if I was a family member and it had been 33 years, I wouldn't be too worried about what was said. I would be like, let's just get it done. But again, I'm
Right.
only speaking from my own. That's my line of thinking. But obviously, we respect the family and the police's wishes. But 33 years is way too long to be holding anything close to the chest, in my opinion.
Well,
Yeah.
and it says that one has since died of the people of interest. So,
Right. Right.
that's a scary thought in itself that,
Yeah.
you know, they could, die off and not have any justice
And
for their family.
my understanding from the daughter that um, reached out to me was that she told me that the detectives have seen this flyer,
Yeah.
so it was brought to their attention. So they've seen it.
Well, 33 years is a long time.
It is, when I first read this, I got goosebumps because that's the exact same day my mom passed away
Really?
from cancer.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Wow. Wow. Wow.
Well, if I ever get taken out, and I'll just tell you guys now, if it gets past like the 7-year mark, the police have my full permission to just start spilling every rumor they've ever. Because I don't. At that point, it's too long. If somebody killed me or my loved one, and they got to hang out for the fact that they get to have a life for 30 days is disgusting.
Absolutely.
33 years of living,
Hmm.
having kids, falling in love, starting businesses. That's
Yeah.
disgusting, because their loved one, her life stopped that day. The
Yeah.
people that
Yeah.
did it have gotten so far 33 free years of life. That's disgusting.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's the real kicker to it is, they killed this person, but yet they get to live their life out. And like you say, get jobs, have kids, grandkids, celebrate holidays, the whole 9 yards, knowing they snuffed out somebody's life. And that's bad.
I haven't done
Okay.
Jalen yet.
Okay, yeah. Jaylan Gomez. We'll go ahead and do this flyer.
Yeah. Jalen Gomez is missing from Hutchinson, Kansas since July 31st of 2024. She's 14, 5'5", 195 pounds, brown hair, brown eyes. It's believed she may still be in Hutch or she may be in the Wichita, Kansas area. Mom seems to think that she's in Wichita.
This is important. There's police at the door.
Oh, shit. Anyway, Jalen's 14. She's 5'5", weighs 195 pounds, has brown hair, brown eyes. She was last known to be wearing a dark blue hoodie, black biker shorts, and black slides. If you have any information regarding Jalen's disappearance or you know her whereabouts, please call the Hutchinson, Kansas Police Department, 620-694-2800, or the KBI at 785-296-4017. And I apologize for my daughter in the background. She's letting me know that there's a police officer at my door. So, hang on, I'll be right.
Oh, we were muted. Yeah, Ricky will be back in just a second. It sounds like something's going on over there. Hopefully nothing too serious. Zelia Brownlee, missing from Wichita, Kansas, August 3rd of 2024. She's 12 years. Yeah, 12 years old. She's missing since August 3rd of 2024. She was last seen leaving the 1100 block of North Poplar in Wichita. She's 12 years old. She's 5'1", weighs 96 pounds, and she has black hair and brown eyes. She was last seen wearing a black bodysuit, silk green head covering, and carrying a black drawstring bag. You can call the 12 years old. Call 911. I'm not going to read any more numbers.
Absolutely.
Just call 911 as soon as you see Zelia. Don't try to approach her. She's a kid. She's a child. Call the police. Call a professional to get down there and check that out. Yeah, that's not good. And we go ahead and read this. Just 1-800-RUNAWAY. Just what's the numbers for that?
1-800-786-2929.
Okay, so if anybody like Zelia, if you're watching this, or if anybody is in a situation like that, call that number, 1-800-RUNAWAY. Go home, and if home's not safe, go somewhere that's not the streets of Wichita, Kansas. And another thing to point out, anybody who has Zelia staying at their house and you're an adult and she's on a missing poster, you're now breaking the law. What you're doing is against the law, and you can be punished. You can go to jail. Harboring a minor is not something you want to do. That doesn't mean throw her into the streets. It means call the police right now and say, hey, I have a runaway at my house. We need to get this taken care of.
Right.
Anybody that's Zelia, if you're seeing this and an adult is letting you stay at their house and it seems really cool, they're not a really cool adult. And when you're in your 30s, you're going to look back and be like, that was kind of weird. I was a child. I was 12, and they thought it was cool that I was just living at their house. My friend Cynthia Renee Gonzalez's case will be 33 years in September. It's gone unsolved. And being reopened most recently, I'm told by the detective not to share any info on it because it could hinder the case. What am I supposed to share about it on the Facebook page? It makes it very frustrating when you're told to be quiet. But out of respect, I do keep quiet. And that's a decision everybody can make. Everybody can make that decision, what you want to do. That's what you can do. Basically, you are allowed to do that. That being said, I really do feel like 33 years. I trust the police 100%. I'll give them 10 to 15, 20 years to chasing down somebody that you don't want to hurt the case. But just me personally, I feel like 33 years, I would do literally anything that it took to get my loved one found. Ricky, what happened? Did you get swatted? What happened?
No. It was the officer that took the report on my van window. He was asking me some questions on an email I sent him today.
Oh, okay.
Well, thank goodness you didn't go to jail.
Yeah.
You're
I was just checking on some information I sent. Because I think I have a lead on who may have done it. Yeah. So, yeah. What? What do you want, my phone?
Thank you.
Oh, hi. What?
Cherish the moments, Ricky. Cherish the moments.
She needs a credit. We've been doing the show 4 years, and she's on quite a bit.
Oh, I know it. Oh, believe me, I love her to pieces. I wouldn't trade her for anything. Believe me.
The co-hosts are his daughter, his dogs, and then his phone. His phone goes off quite a bit.
Well, I actually have it on vibrate my phone right now, but she just took my phone, so it's fine.
Terry Gay, Kansas City. Looks like a fairly coming up on a year.
Yeah. Yeah, I've just been missing a few weeks, I guess. But in Mr. Kansas City, Missouri since August 1st of this year. He's 65, 5'6", 150 pounds, brown hair, green eyes. Was last seen walking the pictured brown and white mixed breed dog near his residence in the area of East 94th Street and Pleasant Avenue in southeast Kansas City, Missouri. And he's 65, he's 5'6", weighs 150 pounds, has brown hair and green eyes. His family is concerned for his welfare. If you have information regarding Terry's disappearance, you know his whereabouts, please call 911 immediately. Or call the Kansas City, Missouri Police Department's Missing Persons Squad at 816-234-5043. Sorry, thinking about my daughter got me chuckling a little bit there. Or 816-234-5111. Or the Missouri State Highway Patrol at 573-526-6178. Or 866-362-6422. See if we can't get Terry located and back to where he needs to be.
Yeah. Wow, that's what, 6 days that he went missing?
Yeah, I thought it was still July today. I was like, oh, it's coming up on a year. No, so
Yeah.
6 days. Yeah, that's always better. If it was coming up on a year, that'd be really scary. A few days,
Yeah.
it's still scary if this is your loved one. But you know, a lot of times, you know, you'll just have some people just need to go decompress, get away from the world for a few days. I just did it not on purpose. I just got stuck in Colorado for a week, and I was stuck in a hotel room by myself for like 4 days. And it did great things for my mental health, just being in quiet, you know, not around my dogs barking. So hopefully, you know, Terry's just taking a few days off. But even then, Terry, message somebody, let them know you're
Right.
alive. One person.
Yeah, and Felicia Sweden saying a lot of posters that she received and shares on Facebook takes them down. Well, that's
Why?
concerning. I don't like that Facebook.
No.
Not good.
No. This one threw me for a loop when I was asked to do hers because I'd done one for her a while back and I was never notified that she was ever located. So when I was asked to do it again, I was like, oh, I didn't know she'd been found the first time. Well, this is Destiny Jackson, missing from Wichita, Kansas since June of this year. I couldn't nail down an actual day. She was 17 when she went missing. She was 5'5", 170 pounds, blonde hair that was last known to be dyed red, and blue eyes. Don't have much more than that. But if you have any information regarding Destiny's disappearance, you know her whereabouts, please call the Wichita, Kansas Police Department at 316-660-9254 or 316-660-9456 or 316-263-6011 or the KBI at 785-296-4017. And see if we can't help get Destiny located and back to where she needs to be. Hopefully she's doing okay, but let's get her found and back to where she needs to be. So, and this is another one. I just think I did that one this morning. Brianna Thomas, missing from Wichita since August 4th, 2024. She's 16, 5'5", 110 pounds, black hair, brown eyes. Don't have much more than that. If you have any information regarding Brianna's disappearance or you know her whereabouts, please call the Wichita, Kansas Police Department at 316-660-9254 or 316-660-9456 or 316-263-6011 or the KBI at 785-296-4017. See if we can't get her located and back to where she needs to go, or needs to be, excuse me. Did you guys cover David Reese while I was away or no? Okay. I can't hear you, Hope. Did your mic die? I can't hear you at all. Oh, she's having technical difficulties. Is there a mute on that?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you, yes.
Can you hear Hope?
Testing.
No, I can hear you again.
Okay. Yeah, it's just because I walked off set and I realized that I had my mic on still.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah, this is David Reese. I know they've been doing a lot of searching for him. They've had multiple drone searches going on. They've had foot searches and everything else going, trying to find him. Missing from Harper, Kansas since August 1st. 73 years old, 5'11", 250 pounds. He is balding with brown eyes. He's believed to be driving a white Chevy Silverado bearing Kansas license plate 885 NEW. Last seen on Thursday evening, August 1st, but investigators believe he was driving southbound on U.S. Highway 281 near Medicine Lodge on Friday morning, August 1st, around 7:40 a.m. He may be traveling with a chocolate Labrador Retriever. He does have diabetes, anxiety, and a condition impairing cognition and memory. And he's 73. He's 5'11", weighs around 250 pounds. He is balding and has a white beard, has brown eyes, and he's likely wearing a baseball cap. If you have any information regarding David's disappearance, or you know his whereabouts, or you see his vehicle, please call 911 immediately. Or if you have any information about his whereabouts, please call the Harper, Kansas Police Department at 620-842-3830 or of course the KBI 785-296-4017, and see if we can help get David located and back to where he needs to be.
A lot of the flyers you'll see missing, endangered runaways, missing. You'll see unsolved homicides. You'll see suspicious deaths. This is a silver alert. Hope's going to tell you what a silver alert is.
Okay, a silver alert is a public notification system used in the United States to help locate and rescue elderly individuals who are missing and may be in danger. It's similar to an Amber Alert, pardon me, which is used for missing children. The silver alerts are typically issued for senior citizens with a cognitive impairment, such as Alzheimer's.
Yeah.
Or dementia, who go missing and they're concerned for their safety. The alert broadcasts through various media channels, including radio, television, and highway signs to quickly disseminate information to the public and increase the chances of locating the missing person.
Ricky, how do you know whether or not it's a silver alert typically? Like, do the detectives tell you? Like, how do you know it's a silver alert?
Well, on his, I got an email from the KBI press release stating that it was a silver alert.
Okay.
So yeah, I can see why with, diabetes, anxiety, and a condition of hearing, cognition, and memory. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's the cognitive part is the scary part, because there's a difference between being missing and then if you're somebody who has cognitive issues, you probably don't know you're missing. You're probably confused, but you probably have no idea that people are freaking out, and that's scary,
Yeah.
Right.
14-year-old.
This one was a tough one to do because I had to do everything I could to get that photo as clear I could get it. That was a chore, let me tell you. I played around on photo.com with that thing for quite some time to get it right. Oops, wrong one. I pulled the wrong flyer.
Zacchaeus?
Let's see. I'm not sure. Zacchaeus. I'm not sure how that's pronounced. Bell. Missing from Wichita, Kansas since July 24th of 2024. He's 14, 5'3", 110 pounds, black hair, brown eyes. Don't have much more than that, but if you have any information regarding Zacchaeus' disappearance, I hope I said that right. If I didn't, I apologize. Or you know of his whereabouts, please call the Wichita, Kansas Police Department at 316-660-9254 or 316-660-9456 or 316-263-6011 or the KBI at 785-296-4017 and see if we can't get him located and back to where he needs to be.
Real young, big city.
Yeah. Scary.
No, thank you, Felicia. Appreciate that. And Ted, thank you. Appreciate that. And this is when I did this afternoon before I went to the laundromat and stuff, I think. Oops.
Another 14-year-old.
Yeah, and this one kind of concerning on her. Well, tell you why here. She's missing from Topeka, Kansas since August 5th, 2024. Yep, she's 14, 5'4", 130 pounds, brown hair, hazel eyes. It's believed she may be either in Wichita, Kansas, or she may be in Oklahoma, which tells me she's got help getting to those places because 14, you don't have a driver's license.
Right.
But, if anybody has any information regarding Tia's disappearance or you know her whereabouts, please call the Topeka, Kansas Police Department at 785-368-9200 or the KBI at 785-296-4017 and see if we can't get Tia located and back to where she needs to be. What are you doing? Cracking open a soda can?
I don't know what he's doing. He's plugging stuff in.
This is Bria Ingram, missing from Topeka, Kansas since July 31st, 2024. She's 16, 5'6", weighs between 140 and 145 pounds. Her hair was last known to be dyed black, and she has blue eyes. If you have any information regarding Bria's disappearance or you know of her whereabouts, please call Topeka, Kansas. Shawnee County, Kansas Sheriff's Office. I forgot to take Topeka, Kansas back out of there. 785-251-2200 or KBI at 785-296-4017. See if we can't get Bria located and back to where she needs to be. It sounds like you're chewing on the microphone. Now it's quiet. Now I can't hear Hope again. Goodness gracious.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay.
And I think Bria might have been our last one. Nearest I can tell.
Well, now I can't get the mic back on. So
I think Bria was our last one for the night.
my goodness.
Looking at
Okay,
my
well,
list.
my mic died, so I'm just hollering into hopes. But yeah, if you want to do another prayer, we can do that. We can get out of here. But yeah, great show. Thanks everybody for tuning in, and we'll be back next week at 9:00. And Ricky's going to get us out of here. And thanks for sharing all the flyers every week.
Thank you.
Heavenly Father, thank you for being with us tonight, and thank you for allowing us to get together to share these cases, and just pray they reach the right ears, the right heart, will do the right thing and call the information in that needs to be called in to get these people found and these unsolved homicides solved. And until we see each other next week, everybody stay safe. God bless. Take care, and amen.